So then let's talk about music, and let's talk about quarterback.
Because two of probably my favorite things.
Yeah,
about baseball.
Let's talk about music. Zac Dart is a music guy. Tell us the origins of that. Tell us what you do, what you listen to.
My mom's family especially is a music family. You know, my sisters all majored in like English or not English, music, piano, things like that. I'll teach music. My grandma's been the word chorister for like years and years and years. So for me, it was just like a normal thing. I didn't realize until I got a little bit older that not everyone was like into music and into like my mom showed me like all the musical theater. I know all the plays. You know, I always watch like the music TV shows, super into all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then so as I got older, I just got to the point where I really wanted to play the piano. You know, so I learned to play. I kind of taught my mom kind of taught me, and then I started to just teach myself to play the piano when I was like 5 or 6. And so I got to the point where I was pretty proficient with the piano. I can never read music, which is unfortunate. I need to figure that out, but I just never needed to because I've got a pretty decent ear. So I just learned the piano, and then eventually I just decided to learn the guitar. I went to my guy Scott Masters. He taught me the guitar, so I started playing the guitar. I've been doing that for like 5 or 6 years now. I'm in a band. Me and some of my high school buddies, my baseball teammates.
Saw that on Instagram.
Yeah, we have a band, just kind of like an indie rock band. We play. So yeah, it's sweet. I love music, and then yeah, that's like what I listen to too.
Yeah.
I guess if you're gonna get to that, I listen to like I really try to listen to all kinds of things. You know, I have a blog, you know, where I write about music.
Plug your blog.
Oh, it's called like Music and with a couple of D's on Instagram. It's hard to, you know, find Instagram handles. So I just did like Music and, because I was gonna do music and stuff, you know, but Music and then a bunch of D's on the end. You'll probably be able to find it, or it's just in my Instagram.
Yeah.
It's tagged. But yeah, so I write about music. I'll write about like hip hop sometimes. You know, I think all that stuff's really interesting. Some of my favorite guys like Kendrick or MF Doom, rest in peace. You know, some of those guys. And then indie rock. My favorite band ever is Vampire Weekend.
Yeah.
It's an indie rock band. There's my guys, Ezra. Dude, I love Vampire Weekend. Been super into the Backseat Lovers lately. They're from like Heber, Sandy, the kind of a smaller up and coming indie rock band.
Still?
Yeah, just an indie band. The Avett Brothers. I get kind of into more folk and Americana too with the Avett Brothers from North Carolina. And then I love like Tyler Childers, Sturgill Simpson. Love those guys. Get into a little bit of classic rock. Like I love the Beatles. You know, the Beach Boys actually, you know, are like probably my second favorite band ever. Like Pet Sounds. Like Pet Sounds is my favorite album ever made. Brian Wilson, just musical, just genius. So
dude,
yeah.
we might convince El Jefe at CougarBoard to get you on a regular music NIL deal where you post some music.
That's what's up.
That's what we'll see if we can make it happen.
Put
I don't
some
know.
people on.
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Okay, so you played for probably like the two most brilliant quarterback coaches ever in the history of high school football.
Jake Brandon
and Dustin Smith. Mostly Dustin Smith. We'll go right ahead and say that. But Dustin does QB Elite. Tell us.
That's right.
A lot of people know Dustin. He's kind of like a pillar in the community of that. Tell us real quick about Dustin, and then we'll have to wrap it up. But tell us about play for Dustin.
Coach Smith's the man. I mean, Coach Smith is a super demanding guy. You know, Coach Smith is like, he expects near perfection.
Yeah.
And for me, coming in, playing for him, that was hard at first, you know, because I was never really a football player. Like, I was just a thrower. Growing up, I kind of had a cannon, football.
Yeah.
Even more so than baseball. So I just sling it around and do whatever. But Dustin expected near perfection all the time. Being the quarterback guy, I mean, Coach Smith is the man. He's brilliant football mind. And he was hard on me. You know, Coach Smith was hard on me. It was hard. Like, playing for Coach Smith was pretty hard at times, especially at first. You know, learning the offense.
Yes.
And because he doesn't simplify things, you know, and he doesn't.
Puts a lot on you.
He puts a lot on you, and in some ways he was super lenient and understanding, but in the way, you know, the ways that he needed to be. But at the same time, he wasn't there to mess around. You know, he was there to win, and he was there to see me succeed. Build men for sure. And so he was hard on us and hard on me being his quarterback. But I learned so much from Coach Smith. I mean, Coach Smith, like, just about competing, and he gave me so much confidence. Like, after playing for Coach Smith and Coach Brandon, I mean, Senor, like, I can't give you enough credit either. Like, no, I'm serious. Like, you taught me so much about football and built me up and just made me, like, gave me this ability to have confidence and express myself and have fun playing football, and it bled into baseball. And then, like I said, Coach Smith came along, and I had a tough sophomore year in baseball. It was COVID season. I wasn't I didn't contribute as much as I thought I could have. I didn't play well. I have no one to blame but me. But I got opportunities in high school and I didn't play well.
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of confidence. So I came in playing football. I was kind of that still soft kid. I was 15. I was soft. I was scared.
Yeah.
I just didn't have any. I wasn't tough.
Yeah.
And Coach Smith really brought that toughness back.
Yeah.
Because he was hard on me. He built me up. He was in the same breath telling me to get off his field, but then also saying man, that was incredible, great
right.
throw, great read. It was a real mixture. And by the end of football season, I was able to I felt like myself. I was a leader again. I feel like, I don't love saying that, but I really was a good leader for that team. And even this year being hurt, I feel like those guys would listen to me and would receive what I had to say. And that was all Coach Smith. He restored what I'd lost, because I had it, I lost it, and he brought it back, that confidence, that leadership, that ability to say, you know what, I'm gonna go do it.
Yeah.
That's what I learned from him. I'll never forget, we were playing Brighton, and Brighton kind of killed us, but it was really close. It was kind of like when we played Orem my freshman year. Brighton was the number one team. They didn't end up winning it, but they were tough, and we were playing them in the playoffs. And it was still close at this point. We were running down the field, and I was like, what play do we got? What play do we got? And he looks out there, and it was 3rd and 7, and it's probably just take the profit, thrown out, get that first down. But he was like, dude, we got an opening. And I was like, well, what do we got? And he's like, you know what, screw it, let's go. He called, I don't want to say it because my little brother's got to use the calls now. He was like, let's go deep, basically. Let's go deep. Let's run 4 verts.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, let's go do it. You'll throw it, right? And I was like, yeah, I will. And he's like, that's what I thought. And just that confidence. And so sure enough, went out there, bang, drove it 30 yards down the field, got to the 5-yard line. And it was that moment, I was like, you know what, Coach Smith believes in me.
Yeah.
And it was the last game of the season. But just that belief, that confidence is something I've really tried to carry. Just go for it.
Yeah.
Just go for it. That's Coach Smith's mentality with coaching. Be smart, but also be confident in your preparedness and go for it.
Yeah.
And so that's what I've been trying to do with pitching. Making your pitch. It'd be scary. Facing a really good hitter in a big moment. What pitch should I throw? Just pick one and go for it. Throw it with conviction. Be competitive. So that's really the most what I learned from Coach Smith, and how to compete without contempt. That was one thing he's big on. He's got, especially for athletes, and me and Coach Smith are pretty close, off the field and everything. And he taught me a lot about competing, but loving your opponent, but also wanting to beat them really bad. Because there's almost this duality I had to learn. Because Coach Smith is intensely competitive.
Oh yeah.
Intensely
insanely
competitive. Coach Smith, intensely competitive would.
But he still cares about people.
He still cares about people, and he'll go shake their hand, and he's not about doing stuff that's not really cool, but at the same time fiercely intensely competitive, which is how I try to be. So I think that's pretty cool. So
thanks for the shout out for Spanish Fork football coach Smith.
Always.
And all those things. Well, Zach, thanks for coming on, man. I'm glad to get some baseball guys on. I'm glad we got you on. We'll be watching eagerly to see how this goes.
Thanks,
coaching
man.
changes. We got Trent in there. I think Trent's a baller. I heard good things about him.
Coach Pratt's the man.
Yep. And so we look forward to all that. Thanks a lot, Zach.
Yeah, thanks, senor.
That's what we got.
For sure.
All right. CougarBoard's out.